Welcome to the Scrollhead YouTube channel, and this is the preview for Liverpool versus West Brom tonight. It's going to be a pretty quick preview, I've got to say, but I'm going to try the best to get as much info in as possible. So obviously, we know now Liverpool drew against Everton, and it was disappointing for everybody. Now we take on West Brom, a team that are 18th in the league right now because Crystal Palace won last night, and they got out the bottom three for the first time since the start of the season, I think. So, I mean, they've done themselves pretty well there, Crystal Palace, even with Roy Hodgson in charge. I mean, wow, okay. Now, we're coming up against a West Brom team that haven't actually won a game in the Premier League since, and I had to double take on this one. I went on two different sources because I couldn't believe the first one. West Brom haven't won in the Premier League since, let me just double check, the 19th of August. 19th of August, and I you know what, I need to triple check that one again. Because then they won against Accrington Stanley in the Carabao Cup. They won against Burnley in the very first day. So the second day of the Premier League, they beat Burnley. The second match in the Premier League, and then since then, they've drawn a few games, they've lost a few games. Definitely haven't won. And their last Premier League game that they had was against Swansea, and they lost it 1-0 to a Wilfred Boney goal. So, I mean, it's one of these. We have to go there. We have to put out a pretty damn strong team, in my opinion. And we have to go and really take these 3 points away from West Brom. Could they be a stubborn team? Yes, because apart from Man City, I think, they haven't been beaten by a hefty amount of goals, but they are getting beaten. So it's not happening for West Brom right now. They got rid of Tony Pulis, and obviously now on the evidence of that, yeah, I can kind of understand why. I thought it was a little bit weird at first why they got rid of him, but now, looking at all that, yeah, I can kind of understand it. He gives you a little bit of stability, but now they're in the bottom three. So, yeah, it's quite ironic. I think it's Alan Pardew's their manager, so who knows what's going to happen there. You know, a guy who always seems to get a job, and I don't know how. He always seems to somehow end up failing at the club that he goes to. I don't know. This is the modern thing of being a Premier League manager. You fail at one club, you can move on to another one anyway. That's maybe another video for the future, to be fair. But we come into this one, we need to get these 3 points ahead of the weekend game as well, where we face Bournemouth. And we need to keep going. We just need to keep going. Obviously, Chelsea won against Huddersfield. Burnley won as well. So they actually go into the top four last night. So we are going to be in fifth. We need to make sure that we win. And I think we need to do it in good fashion. There are obviously, now quotes coming out from Klopp about Coutinho and Firmino being rested against Everton. Apparently that was listening to medical advice. Salah being substituted as well, he was feeling something in his hamstring, and now you have to understand why Klopp was making the team selection that he had to. If he's having to listen to medical teams and stuff like that, you cannot push people further than they can go. You can push them quite far, but eventually, if you keep pushing and you push and you push and you push and you push, eventually something has to give. Okay, and that is the last thing that we want with three players that are key to us, being Firmino, Coutinho, and Salah. You know, if they're having twinges or if he's being given medical advice not to play them as much as possible, or to rest them when he can, or maybe give them limited game time, yeah, you cannot have especially over this period right now, we can't have people dropping like flies and getting injured. Otherwise, we end up with the same situation that we had last year, around the similar sort of time in the season, where things were getting busy, we were losing players. I think Coutinho got injured against Sunderland, and he was out for a while. And then, obviously, we don't have it this year, but Mane went off to the African Cup of Nations, and we lost a lot of creativity, and January last year was horrific. Now, we're not anywhere near that yet, in my opinion, but if we keep having, this is probably why people are going to have to accept that Jurgen Klopp is going to be rotating. He's going to be rotating for the whole month of December, maybe a little bit into January as well. We've got a lot of things going on. We've got a lot of competitions that we're going to be in. Champions League kicks back into life in February as well. So, January is going to offer us a window, literally, to bring in some players, but whether we do or not, I'm kind of accepting that we won't because Liverpool don't do a lot of business in January. Like key business anyway. I know we brought in like Steven Kolker a couple of seasons ago, but didn't really do anything apart from playing up front in a game where I think we ended up drawing. I can't even remember. But anyway, this is a really important game for Liverpool. And in terms of team selection, I honestly don't know what to do. I wouldn't know what to go with. I don't think there's many changes that you'd make from the Everton game unless, is Coutinho and Firmino, are they doing a lot better? Can they be started? If not, you're probably going to end up going with likes of Sturridge and stuff like that as well. Is Salah okay to start? Is he going to be injured? Is his, that hamstring twinge, is that going to keep him out a little bit? So many questions, and I don't even know if I can do a starting 11 prediction. It's going to be difficult. I think it's going to be a difficult game. I don't take any game for granted, regardless of where any team is in the league. Whether you're bottom of the league or you're top of the league, I go into each game with that same little bit of nervousness and realism that anything can happen in this league. Anything can happen in this league. It really can. Look at Burnley, flying high in 4th position. Look at where they are compared to some teams around them. Where people were saying Burnley could get relegated this season, they're in 4th place. They're doing really well. Anything can happen in this league, and it is happening in terms of stuff like Burnley and stuff like that. We've got to go out there and we've got to play extremely, extremely well. We have to attack, first and foremost. It's a West Brom team that are not in a very good place. They've just got beaten by Swansea, who Swansea themselves have been sitting in the relegation zone since I don't even know when. They've been there since probably around the start of the season. I can't even remember. I really don't. I don't have anything to look at right now. So we've got to go in there. We've got to attack. We've got to do everything that we can. But I think for me, I would make a change defensively, and I've made the suggestion, I think, in the mini review that I did the other day, in that I would take Lovren out of the team, just again get him out the firing line, because as soon as he makes a mistake, everything is magnified, and it comes in on him so much harder than it does anybody else. So I think I would take him out of this one, have him on the bench, fair play, put him on the bench. I'd have Clavan, and I'd have Joe Gomez, Trent Alexander-Arnold at right back, Andrew Robertson at left back, because Moreno is apparently going to be out for 6 weeks, maybe a little bit longer. Matip is apparently going to be recovering a little bit earlier, but nowhere near soon enough for this game. Maybe not even the next couple of games, but that's another one for another time. Mignolet will most likely be in goal. Who we got in the midfield? Lallana's apparently looking good. He's apparently looking very good from quotes from Klopp, but whether he's going to be fit for this game, not entirely sure. Might be the next game at the weekend. So again, you're probably going to be looking at a possible combination of having Henderson in there, which that doesn't sit well with me. But if he gets chosen, you've got to support him. The way I would go with Emre Can, Wijnaldum, and Coutinho if Coutinho is available. This is with a view as if we could start our strongest squad. Other option that you've got there is you rest one of the front three, which for me it would probably be Mohamed Salah, because there's been no quotes or anything like that about Mane being injured or anything like that. So if Salah is available, if Salah's going to be rested, you put Mane on that right hand side just like he was last season. Put Coutinho out on the left hand side. If again he's fit to play, I should say. And then I would put, who was I going to put? Well, you could switch it either way. You could have Coutinho in the midfield and put Oxlade-Chamberlain on the left-hand side, or vice versa. Put Oxlade-Chamberlain in the midfield, because he had a pretty good game when he did play there. I think, was it against Everton? I'm pretty sure it was. Might have been Everton. Yeah. Anyway, regardless of that, and then you put Coutinho out on the left-hand side, and then it's all about up front. Now, if you're going to give Firmino a bit of a rest, if he's, listening to medical advice and he's having to rest some of these players, yeah, you'd probably end up being Sturridge, to be fair, because people aren't obviously raving about Solanke's performance against Everton and stuff like that. And to be fair, he didn't get a great deal of service. He was quite isolated, doing what he could, but couldn't really make a big effect on the game. So you'd probably end up having to go with Sturridge in that respect. Now, depending on injuries and stuff like that, there might be a change of system, because he will always change things to accommodate certain players. If we've got injuries or he's wanting to rest people that may have injuries, yeah, you're probably going to see a bit of a change of system. But what I've just ran through there is probably what I would start with tonight against West Brom. It still gives you enough attacking intent, attacking threat against a team that doesn't really threaten a great deal, but West Brom in the past have been, they're known to sometimes come up and show up in the big games, and it is a big game. It's a big game for us. We need to reclaim our fourth position spot from Burnley and keep pace with everybody else as well. Keep pace with those that are in front of us, like Chelsea, who won again, as I was saying, won against Huddersfield, I think it was last night. So we need to make sure that we keep pace. We've got enough in there to do it. We just need to go and do it. So can we do it? Let me know what you think, Liverpool fans, West Brom fans, and any neutrals. Let me know what you think. Can we do it? Can Liverpool do it? Can we get the 3 points and then head into the weekend on maybe a little bit more of a high? And, can we get some quick fire 3 points in both games? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Please do like the video if you do enjoy it. Thank you very much. That would be awesome if you could do that. Subscribe as well if you are new around here. Thank you ever so much for watching as always, and I will catch you later.